Hey guys, welcome back to Michio Makes. My name is Michio. I like to make stuff. Today we've got part number 15 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. And this one actually comes with a little bit of a caveat and or adjustment from DeAgostini. So I actually went on their website and noticed something that's on issue number 15. There is a little bit of a revision that we had to kind of implement. Looks like there is a little bit of a tube length issue. So one of the tubes in this kit is a little bit too long, so we have to cut it. And then there is also some adjustments on the bracket here about making sure that we don't over tighten certain things. And we're gonna, I guess, do it later on too. Well, I guess they put this revision in. We have to make sure we follow this guide, these revisions, because this does happen. They aren't able to get these in time and adjustments made in time for during manufacturing. And unfortunately, they have to kind of put these kind of notices out on their website. I'm going to double and triple check and make sure that there aren't any other ones, because I know there is another one coming up, I believe, in the around 30s or so. So we'll make sure we follow this to make sure that we don't screw anything up when it comes down to all of the pieces not fitting or anything like that. So without further ado, let's just break into this issue number 15 and take a look. Okay, we've got our cover here. We've got our favorite frames that we have. Got the kit here. Oh, it looks like we actually have part of the front grille, looks like, too, as well. Maybe? I don't know. Oh, we actually did get the notes for the revision in actually the kit itself, so I didn't even know that. So it looks like they'd maybe even already just taken it to printing, the book itself, the booklet itself, but they didn't add in this page, this revision that they need to make on there. So we'll make sure we follow that. There's only one side, so it looks like we just need to cut the hose. That second piece actually might be for a different part, but I have to verify that too as well. So as we open in the book, looks like we're getting sports models, Toyota sports models of the 1960s. A lot of cool information there. You can take a peek if you'd like. Obviously the 2000 GT, super iconic. If you guys don't know what this vehicle is, it is, for the time period, this is like a competitor to the Lamborghini, Ferrari, But these, I think, a little bit more iconic too, as it being Toyota. Ah, the Carina. Really nice sedan. Don't know too much about the Carinas, but I believe this is around the same size. We never had them in the U.S., but it usually came with this big old V6, 3SGE. Actually, no, 3SGE is a four-cylinder. What am I talking about? Yeah. But super cool car, still a classic. You'll still see guys trying to import these Carinas, but also the Coronas too as well. Super nice. I don't know too much about them. Aha. So looks like we're actually starting not just in the motor stuff. Been working on that a lot. But looks like we're going to be working on some of the front grille. Looks like. So in the bumper we had actually did in like part 1. Looks like we're actually going to get some stuff going on with that. And obviously the front suspension part 2 as well. We've got the hose and how much they expect you to cut. And it looks like we actually are attaching this to the whole part. Nice. So we're actually working on almost every single part that we've built so far. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Got some AP screws that fell out of the package. Make sure we didn't lose those. Okay, we'll start with the screws that actually fell out. We had AM and AP screws. It's like and we'll start with the king of the show here. Part of the front grille, which we have not even used or seen in quite a long time. Got the right strut tower and the connection point that we had on there too as well for the tower. Remember doing that. Another part for the strut itself. The spring. I remember having a little trouble with these. They're actual springs, so they will compress. Looks like the top hat for the spring there. The hose that we're going to need to adjust. CM screws. I don't think I've ever seen those before. Maybe we have. And another piece of hose. Now, I think this is the hose that they're referring to. So this is actually quite a lot more fat than the other one. You can see this right here. And I believe these ones, these thin ones, were actually the ones used for, like, let's see here, the engine here. Like, obviously on the top, spark plug wires, etc. This one I don't know what's going to be going to. We'll see in a second. But looks like we do have to make this modification. I believe it is this hose itself here that we will need to cut to 8 millimeters. It looks like to ensure that we do it properly. Yeah. All right, let's get everything lined up and see what our first step is. Okay, we haven't seen this in a little bit, but we've got it all still the same. So this part actually for the front grille is literally just us sticking this right here. Get the line right like that, as you can see, and we put the AP screws right there. So pretty simple part for this. It's kind of funny how they decide on what needs to go when and where. Obviously there's some sort of method to make sure that stuff doesn't get too kind of misaligned with making sure this is built properly, but it's kind of their decision is like, okay, yeah, right at this point, right now, is when you should be putting this part of the front grille on. Okay, I guess so. Can't see how that impacts other stuff, but I think they're also just kind of looking for some variation, so you're not just working on every week you're working on the suspension, or every week you're working on the engine too, because the engine has had a ton of components, don't forget. And there was a lot of weeks where we were just purely working on that. And I think that's the same thing's going to happen to the interior when that happens, because I saw how detailed the interior is, and it's going to be crazy. And once we get that screwed on, this part is complete. Yeah, so that's that part for the front grille, front bumper. Next, we're working on the strut. Got a couple pieces here. It looks like we're just putting this on as we had done before. And as you can see here, if you remember, there's a little notch here on the tower itself, and then a little notch here. So all we need to do is just get the spring on like that. Don't really mess around too much. Compress it. Kind of see that. Compress it down. And just, oop, that does take a lot of force actually. Good amount of force. Press it down, push it in. We're good. There it is. Then we're going to take this piece and attach it to this on the bottom. And looks like we just kind of slide it down on this way, I believe. I think there's only one way to slide this really on. Take this piece down here, Place that on like just so. All right, after we get those aligned like that, we're going to take our suspension piece and we're working on the right side here. That gets attached here to the bottom right there. And we use a CM screw. I remember this is a little more difficult too, just because we have to balance a bunch of things. CM screw here. Screw that on. Gotta rotate this out because that actually is part of the brake. So binding a little bit. We're good here. Screw that down a little bit more. Just a little bit so I can still move. And then we take this part of the control arm and right there, put that on there. And we use an AM screw for that. Right. I'm going to screw this down a little bit more because it looks like a little loosey-goosey up here on this side. Looks great. And now, looks like we have almost our full front suspension done. Got our power steering. We do not have this side brake on over here. But we've got our springs and struts on. Looks great. Really stoked about that. Looks awesome. Okay, before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'm actually going to be using the part of the frame here as a kind of protectant. I have a cutting mat, I just don't know where it went. So we're going to cut these this larger hose to 8mm in size, and obviously it's really nice. They do have a ruler in the book, but I have a metal one, so we'll just use that. Do my best, because this is a little bit hard to do when you're filming. Just gonna hold that there. That's 10, 9, 8. About there. About there. Didn't get all the way through, but I know where to go to cut now. A little 8mm section. Do another one. It's 10, 9, 8. What about there? Excellent. Okay, just check the instructions again, and it looks like we have to grab this extra hose. This actually hose is part number 12, And we have to cut it down to 80 millimeters. So let's go ahead and get this aligned here. Looks actually pretty nuts on this end here. Bring it all the way to 80. X-Acto knife. Mark it there. And cut. Now this tube, I'll save this other piece, is actually going to be right here. Let me zoom in if you can see it. You can kind of see it right there. Right here. It's going to be on that sensor right there. And you have to snake it underneath this hose right here. And this is the one we just cut. Kind of snake it in underneath here and connect it to that. So I'm actually just going to leave that. I'm going to grab it over here. Kind of slide this on slowly. Got it. Perfect. Move this out the way here. And now this next part, let me actually look at the picture real quick. This other hose that we have is actually just goes right on top of here. Right there, perfect. Now we take those hoses that we just cut right here and we feed them together. It's actually, let me refocus this and zoom out actually a little bit. Is that okay? Looks like it. We're going to feed it, both the hoses through these. Kind of have a little wrap. Just like so. And we don't just do it to one, we do it to both. So, got the other one, 8 millimeter. Drop it in, like so. And those are just going to kind of hang there for right now. They're separated, but together. You can kind of see them right there. And with that, take a look at all our work. That's the engine, the front suspension, and super easy part for the front grille. Oop. That's a pretty nice picture. See how much we got done. So, part number 15 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini is complete. Again, we got some hoses done. We got the right side of suspension, front suspension done, and we got the little attachment piece on the front grille too as well. So, thanks very much for joining me today. I really do appreciate your support. If you like this video, give it a like, and a subscribe would be awesome too as well. It really helps the channel grow. So, thanks very much again. We'll see you guys in part number 16, where we will be exploring wheels. Looks like we got some wheels coming up. So I'll see you guys in part number 16. Bye for now.